All right, guys, I'm going to try to explain the redistricting battle that is going on here in the state of Virginia. Democrats here in Virginia are trying to do a mid-decade redistricting to fight Trump's redistricting battle that they had in Texas and some other blue and red states. Well, Democrats are trying to fight Trump here in Virginia, so they would like to redistrict the state. In order for them to do that, they had to pass a constitutional amendment because back in 2020, Virginia voted to create a 16 party, like a group of 16 individuals that would work with the House of Delegates and would work with legislatures and politicians here in Virginia to create a commission where they choose the redistricting lines to make it fair for both parties, Democrat and Republican, and they tweak it every 10 years. Well, Democrats would like to change that. So on October 31st, 2025, they passed a bill to get rid of that. Now, why did they do that on October 31st? Well, they have to pass a new constitutional amendment for them to do this vote. But there has to be an election in between that vote and before it can go on a ballot for voters to finally approve on it. Well, on October 31st, they ran this bill through last minute, completely unplanned. And then what was November 4th? November 4th was your election. And it was in favor of Democrats. Democrats took a supermajority here in Virginia. Not just a majority, like we were hoping that they wouldn't, but they took a supermajority. Now, the ball is in their court. Virginia's losing the Republican governor. They're getting a Democrat governor. They're getting rid of Glenn Youngkin. They're getting Abigail Spanberger. So not only do they have the governor, they have the House, the General Assembly, and they have the Senate. And they have a supermajority. So they can pass whatever they want. Even if they don't get all the Democrat support, they can still pass just about anything that they want. So they're going to pass this. It's probably going to pass. It'd take an act of God for them not to pass it. And they're going to change the redistricting lines. Now, here I'm going to put on a screen what Virginia's current congressional districting map looks like. And that's this right here. Now, you can see this map looks pretty fair. I mean, there's some tough battles in some places, but it's a mostly fair map. It's 6 and 5. Now, this is the map that they would like to do. This is one of their ideas. Now, this is not what they've officially approved. This is not what they're officially doing, but this is one of the ideas that they wanted to do. And they came up with a couple different ones, but they all kind of look similar. Some are 9 and 2, some are 10 and 1, but they're all just about the same. They remove a bunch of Republican seats. Now, this is a problem for Virginia because Virginia is pretty 50-50 on its voters. I mean, I would say that there's, based off our last 6 elections, there are slightly less Republicans in Virginia versus Democrats, but it's pretty split, you know. I would say 45% to 55%, you know, in that kind of range. Like, it's not a huge difference between the difference in Republican voters and Democrat voters. Now, they sway between elections. Like, they'll have down parts and they'll have up parts where sometimes one party does better than the other. I mean, look at 2021. Virginia got a Republican governor. You know, this year we got, well, I guess technically last year in 25, they got Abigail Spanberger, a Democrat. So they go back and forth. But you cannot tell me that this map looks fair. And it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or if you're Republican, you should be able to look at this map and go, you know, that doesn't really look fair. And I don't want to hear the arguments of, well, they did it in Texas or they did it here and they did it there. It doesn't matter. I'm not saying that what they did in Texas is right or wrong. That's a whole nother video. That's a whole nother conversation. But that's like saying I watched someone go rob a grocery store oh my gosh, they robbed a grocery store. Does that mean I can do it too? No, it does not mean that I can go rob a grocery store just because somebody else did it. It's like, that's not how we should be. That's not how we operate in Virginia. That should not be how we operate in Virginia. You know? And if Democrats think that what Republicans did in Texas are so wrong, why would they do it? If they think that what Republicans did was so evil and so wrong, why would they go and do the exact same thing and then think that it's okay? I mean, it's just one of those battles. And I know that there's going to be a lot of arguments between why they're doing it and why they're not. I understand why they're doing it. You know, it makes sense. They're trying to fight Trump on it. They're trying to pull the Texas thing. They're trying to say, well, they did it here. And I understand. You know, I'm not saying that they're completely unreasonable, but I'm not saying that they're right. And they're not right. You know? And the voters in Virginia, like the voters in Virginia, voted on a special what's it called? The little questionnaire that they put on the ballot, the little special sample question. Virginians voted on that. Virginians voted to put this commission, the 16-person commission, into effect. Like, Virginia residents voted for this. And they got every single, I believe, you could quote me, I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure they got every single county except one, which was Arlington, where everybody, the majority at least, agreed that this is how it should be. You know, we shouldn't let Republicans dictate how our elections are drawn. We should not let Democrats dictate how our elections are drawn. And it kept fairness. It kept equality in our elections. Now, there were some tough races, especially in delegate seats. Now, some things were tougher than others. Some of them probably a little unfair, but it was mostly fair. So that's kind of a gist of the Virginia redistricting here. I'm sure that there's going to be a lot more information coming out in the next month or two, especially with our new governor coming in here in just about a week, less than a week, actually. So we're going to have a lot of interesting bills, resolutions, and amendments coming up this year, as we also have the marriage amendment, the gun stuff that they're doing, and then the abortion amendment as well. So I will keep you guys updated as always, and thank you for coming to our podcast. And don't forget to give us a subscription down below. It's completely free. Thank you guys.